Global. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're listening to the Global Warm-Up with Judge Jules.
Yes, it's another global warm-up, primed and ready. The playlist is up and running with only the standout moments of the week's biggest new electronic music anthems on the agenda, with dark tracks lurking in the shadows. In hour one, our focus is on house, whilst in hour two, we visit the harder side of things. Plus, later on our customary guest DJ, we welcome Desyfer. Chasing you around the room with tracks with a sting in their tail as we get into action with Gorgon City and Loveless.
You're listening to the Global Warm-Up with Jules.
To avoid any kind of horizontal position, it's your one-stop shop of the week's biggest new electronic masterpieces, as we kicked off with 3 future anthems from GORGON, City, Loveless, also DUMONT, My Heart Is Full of Love, and KETTAMA and DJ HEARTSTRING with If You Want My Heart. It's a fiery experience that's worth treating with all due caution. The global warm-up moving on with the excellently named DJ Tennis and Playa Paradiso.
Every time you pass me by, you know that you catch my eye. Every time you pass me by, I feel like I'm flying high. Every time you pass me by, you know that you catch my eye. Yeah, 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 yeah. Dreaming about your music now. I think I'm in love with you. You know that I think it does. Wonder if you really know. Love is in the air. It's Playa Paradiso. 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 Dreaming about your music now. I think I'm in love with you. You know that I think it does. I keep a picture of you. Your love's a cherry bomb. Your love's a cherry bomb. Your love's a cherry bomb. Baby, kiss me right now. We can turn the lights down. Love is in the air. It's Playa Paradiso. It's Playa Paradiso. Love is in the air. It's Playa Paradiso. It's Playa Paradiso. Love
JudgeJules.net.
MCKAY, ELISE, LEGROW and DOOZIE so far, and before that DJ Tennis, Playa, Paradiso. Inviting you to strap yourself in and space yourself out, and in hour one we explore the best in new house, and in the second we journey through the week's harder and faster tunes. And we press on. Here's MILKWISH, Night is Calling.
in the whip. We hold tight in the BM.
The global warm up.
Tracks so caustic they'll burn a hole in your sound system, aka a carefully curated selection of the week's standout new electronic anthems. Always a smashing soundtrack as we deliver to you GENIX and MC Lethal, Rave Digger, and Lance SAVALI with TNs. Well, time now to say thanks and show our appreciation and blast out some of your shouts this time round, some of our X and Instagram family, where you can find me on X and Instagram as @RealJudgeJules or simply #JudgeJules. Hi to Shot by Dusk, who says back at the home of Gatecrasher Official. Also Sheem Canary, who says can't wait to see you at Avalon, Los Angeles. To Fat Pockets, who says Judge Jules Legends. Also Trance for Life, who says see you in LA. Yaneli Martisa, who says crying happy tears that you're coming back to California. Well, it goes without saying, big love as well to our broader Instagram and X family as we keep your engine revving here on the Global Warm-Up, always putting our back into it. Well, it's our listener's choice feature now, where throughout the week we invited you with all due pause for thought to nominate an all-time favourite anthem and get in touch with those nominations via X, Instagram and Facebook. We pick one out at random each week from our digital postbag, and on this occasion True Trancer got in touch and wanted a big tune in the shape of GAMEMASTER and Lost Tribe.
Will bring all of you to a new understanding and valuing of life. A vision that inspires you to live and love on planet Earth. Like a priceless jewel buried in dark layers of soil and stone, Earth radiates her brilliant beauty into the caverns of space and time. Perhaps you are aware of those who watch over your home and experience it as a place to visit and play with reality. You are becoming aware of yourself as a game master.
Listener's Choice selection there, nominated by True Trance, so that's Lost Tribe GameMaster. Do please get in touch, send your choices, head to any of my socials at Real Judge Jules, as yours might be given an outing next week. Well, back to the week's new music now, and a playlist that generates more grins than a selfie stick. It's a nice offering from Tommy V, Fuzzy Hair and KELLER. This is Super.
You're listening to the Global Warm-Up with Judge Jules.
Put your head between my thighs.
Forsvant.
Yeah, do it like that. Oh my God. Yes! Yes! Yes!
You're my life.
up, baby. Let me just vibe, feeling so motivated. Detonate.
Jules.
I'm doing this, it don't matter, no nothing else, I'm doing it.
I'm feeling fantastic, head up in the clouds, so enthusiastic, jumping up and down, for being dramatic, I'm blocking out the static, trying to get me like, take up all my energy. Hold up, baby, let me just vibe, feeling so motivated, detonated, load all up so I can recreate a destination. I don't need to reach it, I already made it, long awaited. Right now's the moment, I don't plan on letting go. No, I seized the moment when it came around.
Taking it low and leaving it there, the global warm-up. And if you're just tuning in, it's mainly house in hour 1 and mainly bangers in hour 2, plus guest picks coming up from Desyfer. You know, Jack Orley and Abel Hart, Detonate, and before that WURME, Lost Vandal and Feel the Love, and before that Still Ruin My Life from KIEZZA. Building an atmosphere that's sure to space you out, and it's time now for some love to our Global Warm-Up Facebook family who got in touch via facebook.com/JudgeJules, as can you. Hi to Daniel Terrell, who says buzzing for seeing you soon. Also Loopy Lou says the tent was rammed. To Chantal Stewart, who says best set of the night for me, you smashed it. To Karen Fripp, who says insane set. And Julie Williams, who says thank you so much. Well, if it's big moment tracks you're after, we do the weekly detective work. Opening your ears to some of the biggest all-new electronic tunes that are out there right now. And why not get involved? Let us know your favourite offerings on the show. It's at RealJudgeJules across all our socials. Well, here's this week's top of the tune tree. On this occasion on the Global Warm-Up, my tried and tested record of the week is from Vintage Culture with Do You. bang so much your sound system's going to need reinforcing. The week's tried and tested tune there for you, Vintage Culture with Do You, as we drag you deep inside. Here with me, Judge Jules, on the Global Warm-Up. Well, on the road, taking my record box out and about, you can find me on the 1st of August in Eastleigh, 2nd in London at Studio 33 Greenwich, in the 9th at Off-Grid in Bridgend, Wales, the 15th, Swindon, Mecca, the 16th in Cornwall for Falmouth, and the 30th on Western Supermare Beach. Come and say hello if you're in the hood. And for all my DJ and live band dates, including forthcoming trips to the US West Coast and Australia, head to my website, judgejules.net. Turntable skills bespoke tailor for listening thrills as we move on with ARGY, MEDUZA and POLLYANNA. This is Melodia.
Melodia perduta nel vento, melodia che nasce al tempo, melodia nel suo momento, melodia perduta nel vento, melodia perduta nel vento, melodia
till the break of dawn. Yeah, you already know what time it is. We back in the place and we kicking bass in your face, we rockin'. Turn up the treble, the speakers knockin'. In your face, we rockin'. Turn up the treble, the speakers knockin'.
Yes, it's a track list to keep things truly twisted in the shape of the week's biggest brand new anthems here on the Global Warm-Up, where all editions are available to listen again back on demand via SoundCloud, Mixcloud and Apple Music. Well, let's step now into the week's guest selection, where each week we hone in on a different producer/DJ who'll select two of their all-time favourite tracks, one from the past and one from the present. And on this occasion we welcome Desyfer. Desyfer is a DJ and music producer known for monthly mixes on Data Transmission Radio and releases on labels like Black Hole Recordings, Error and Ministry of Sound. And his music has garnered support from loads of big DJs. His recent reworking of Castles in the Sky is making its round in DJ boxes and streaming portals around the globe, including here on the Global Warm-Up. So let's welcome to the show, Desyfer.
Hey Jules, Desyfer here. I've picked my track 831. This track holds really special personal memories for me. It was also one of my earliest tracks that really started to get noticed as it was featured on the Gatecrasher Wet CD. I feel this track has that raw, melodic energy and drive that really defined my sound, and it still influences what I do today. So here it is, 831.
Judge Jules.
That was 831, and up next is Castles in the Sky, my new track with Emma Konnanov. It's out on Friday, the 8th of August, and it's just featured on the latest State of Trance mix, which is just amazing. We're really excited for you guys to hear it, and we feel we've given this classic track a new modern melodic vibe. Hope you like it. Please give us a follow on your chosen platforms, as it really does help. And thanks for having me on the Global Warm-Up.
Desyfer, thanks, and another premium selector joins you on the show next week here on the Global Warm-Up. Well, up next, and like a sonic souffle, we keep on rising. Here's Ilan Bluestone, Alpha 9 and Hearts with Paradise.
Like the wind, I'm all around. I've touched your skin, whispered sounds. You see my face every night. I saved a place for you right by mine.
Space I found. Ooh.
ups and downs and cryptocurrency. It's the global warm-up where we dropped iMusic and Nihil Young's Soul Note and also Joris Vorm with Horizon, followed by Above and Beyond and Malo with Letting Go. Well, let's notch up the energy yet more now here on the global warm-up, entering the final 30 minutes of this week's playlist, and as we do each week at this point, uplifting the BPM and entering the banging zone. It's our main stage mix and we get right into it with Bollier and Yasmin J in the Orjan Nielsen remix of Airwaves.
Jules.
Your sonic beak. It's the global warm-up throwing down our main stage mix, and that was Kiki, time for Acid. Well, at this point, we'd like to big up a selection of the show's SoundCloud and YouTube friends. Hi, it's Dimitri Tavaran, who says balm for my soul. Also, Dave Clayton 3701, who says the whole set is good. Plus Harrison QFB, who says this brings back some memories. To Born to Club 247, who says belters. To Syntax Error 1988, who says brilliant. And somebody whose name is quite difficult to pronounce, who is speaking a language that I don't speak, but I'm going to try it anyway. It says Minto Bom Parati Hom Treino Muito Bom, which could be Portuguese. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're in the midst of our main stage mix. We keep moving with a banging selection here on the Global Warm-Up. close things out with an excellent remix by Will Atkinson and Paul Oakenfold's Southern Sun. Well, thanks one and all, and we conclude another episode of the Global Warm-Up. But remember, you can catch me back here next week or listen again via Apple Music, Mixcloud and SoundCloud by using the search phrase GWU, Judge Jules or Global Warm-Up. Plus, of course, for my full tour dates and other stuff about me, head to my website, judgejules.net. Until next week, thanks and see you later.